Florida State Representative Shevrin Jones has close ties to the Bahamas. He joins us now. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having
And we're
me.
just beginning to see the extent of the damage in the Bahamas with this video and these images coming in. The Prime Minister is calling it unprecedented, and we have new aerials from the Abacos Islands. So first, we want to see how your family is doing.
Thank you so much. My family is doing well. We've been in constant contact with my cousin Nico, and we've been in contact with my cousin Chrissy, who works for, she's the immigration officer there. And so they all are heartbroken, but they all are safe, and everyone has been able to make it to safety. And there's a lot of damage, and Bahamas will need a lot of support, not just from Florida, but from the entire United States. As you all know, United States, I mean, Florida is the gateway to the Bahamas, and Miami itself has a very large contingency of Bahamian descendants here, and so they will need our help and support.
Absolutely. We have a long history of connected to the Bahamas. Bahamians helped build Miami, in
Yes,
fact.
they did.
Yeah.
They did. And actually, Cabo Ranches, where I represent, which is now known as West Park, descendants went there in the 30s and built their first homes right there in Cabo Ranches.
All right, I understand you have some breaking news, some breaking bipartisan news. That's good to know. You've been in touch with Senators Marco Rubio and Rick Scott, working for a way to perhaps get storm victims here to the U.S.?
Yeah, so I spoke. So the good thing is that this entire ordeal has allowed for a bipartisan effort from both sides to come together. I've spoken with Senator Rubio and I've spoken with Senator Scott, and so right now, you know, my ask will be to them to see if we can get some visas waived to get Bahamians over here to their families, because they're homeless now, but they have family here, and so we want to figure out if we can get those that waive to get those families here. And I think that would not only go a long way, it would show the deep ties that we have here here in Florida with the Bahamian families over there.
That would be huge.
Yeah, and not only are they homeless, but going through the rigmarole and the bureaucracy of trying to get the visa in the first place to get over here is definitely burdensome. So thousands of people there are going to have to rebuild their lives. Talk about the needs right now.
Yeah, some of the needs right now, I know a lot of people want to take clothes and things over, but yeah, clothes is not the most important thing that's needed right now. They need food. Baby food is what they need. They need baby diapers. They need diapers for our senior community. They need toilets. They need water. These are some of the things that have been asked for strictly from Prime Minister Menace right now, and tents. And portable toilets. Those are the things that's needed right now.
We are looking at the devastation. It is just unbelievable. It's widespread. In fact, we've shown pictures of the Freeport Airport. It is gone, completely submerged. So how are supplies being taken over there, and how are they being dispersed?
Well, so there are a lot of efforts that's taking place, and some of the efforts that are happening, those who are working directly with the Consul General's office, they have a warehouse and where those things will be taken over as early as tomorrow. Those things will be going over to the islands, and so my thing to anyone would be that if you're taking any supplies to any site, that you need to ask, when are those supplies being taken over? Because if you know, last time we had efforts happening, some of those things sat in warehouses for months and months and never made it over to the islands.
And just on a personal note, you have kind of a foot in both worlds. You have family members there. You were waiting to hear from them. I know you're in work mode right now, trying to take action, get things done. But just on a personal note, when you see these images of devastation, what's going through your mind?
I saw the video and I kind of put my head down because, I didn't want to see it because thank God I'm able to speak to my cousins, and although some of their batteries have died on their phones, so we have not been in constant communications. But my cousin Nico, who is a pilot and who is in search and rescue, we have been in constant contact with him. I'm grateful for that. But some people can't speak that same language that I'm speaking right now. Some people can't find their relatives, and so I'm blessed to have the opportunity to still be in contact with my family. Yes.
Well, we're glad they're all okay.
They're all okay.
And we had on an earlier show someone saying that we're not going to stop there in the Bahamas because we're Bahamians. We don't stop.
We don't stop. Listen, and the country probably have broken buildings and buildings that might be down, but we are a resilient people, and we always come up.
Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you all for having me.
Appreciate having you.
Appreciate it.